Today's topic of discussion, becoming it before you believe it. Listen to me when you're waiting to feel like the new version of yourself. Waiting until it feels natural before you actually start acting like that person. You will tell yourself, once I feel different, I'll act different. And so you wait. That feeling, it doesn't come because that is not the order that it works in. The feeling is not the starting point. It's the result. The people that have become who it is you're trying to become, they didn't feel ready first. They didn't just wake up one day, suddenly feeling like a totally different person, and then start acting accordingly. They acted first, long before the evidence existed, before it felt natural, and before they believed it on the inside. And the belief, it caught up afterward because they actually gave it something to catch up to. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how that works and why it is not the same as fake it until you make it, and the specific practices that makes the new identity actually stick. So this is why waiting for that feeling keeps you stuck. And here is the trap. You're waiting to feel like a confident person before you act confidently. You're waiting to feel like a disciplined person before you start showing up consistently. And you're waiting to feel like someone who has made it before you start carrying yourself like they do. But feelings aren't causes. They're responses. You don't feel confident and then take the action. You take the action and then that action will generate the feeling. Confidence isn't something that you just summon before you act. It's something that you produce by acting. So if you're sitting around waiting for the feeling to arrive first, you are waiting for a result to show up before you've created the thing that actually produces it. It's like waiting to feel warm before you feel the fire. The warmth, it comes because of the fire, not before it. So remember, you're not waiting for the evidence to arrive. You're waiting to start producing it. And until you do, the feeling has nothing to respond to. Here's why this is not a fake it till you make it solution. Now I know what this can sound like, that fake it till you make it and pretending to be somebody that you're not. This isn't that. And the difference, it matters. The fake it till you make it is all about performance. It's about projecting an image outwards for other people. It's external and it's about how you are perceived. But what I'm talking about is internal. It's not about convincing anybody else of anything. It's about asking yourself one question repeatedly in small moments. What would the version of me that already is this do right now? Not what would impress someone and not what would look good, but what would they actually do in this exact moment with this exact decision in front of them? That's not performance, that is evidence gathering. Every time you act in line with the answer to that question, even in a tiny, unglamorous, no one's even watching kind of moment, you are not pretending. You're producing a data point. An identity is built from those data points, not from declarations and not from feelings, but from what you actually did over and over when it counted and when it didn't. So remember, fake it till you make it is about convincing other people. And this is about convincing yourself with proof and not performance. So here is how it actually works mechanically. So right now you have a version of yourself that you believe you are. That belief is built up upon years of evidence from things you've done, decisions you've made, and patterns you have repeated. And you cannot argue your way out of that belief. You can't think your way into a new identity. Beliefs will not just update because you've now decided that they should. The beliefs will update when the evidence changes. So if you want to become someone new, you have to start generating evidence for that new version before you even feel like them, and before it's comfortable, and before it makes sense. So that is the order. Act, generate evidence, and allow the belief to catch up to that evidence. It's not feel different, then act different. This is uncomfortable because for a while you are acting in a way that doesn't match how you feel on the inside, and there's a gap and it feels almost dishonest, like you're not being real with yourself. But that gap is the whole mechanism. That's not a sign that you're doing it wrong. That's what change actually feels like whilst it's happening. That discomfort is not evidence that you're faking it. It's evidence that you are doing the only thing that actually works. So remember, you don't think your way into a new identity. You act your way into one. And the thinking, it updates afterwards, whether it is ready to or not. So a time for me where I just had to act as opposed to just keep thinking about doing something new instead of just thinking about the new identity materializing without having the physical work or evidence to suffice that it was possible, was with starting this YouTube channel. Because I thought for years and years and years that I wanted to start a YouTube channel, start creating long form content, delivering value and connecting with different people through the insights I can share and provide. But I just kept thinking when the time is right, when I feel like doing it, when I feel like it will make most sense. And until it comes to the day where I just come to terms with it's never going to happen unless I take action. Nothing is going to change unless I change. Then I started the channel and I just posted the first video. And from there, I've been extremely consistent ever since. And now I've stepped into the identity of someone that creates YouTube content. I've stepped into the identity of a YouTuber, and the consistency is speaking for itself, and the growth of this channel is also the physical evidence of what just taking action represents. Because if I didn't take action on the day that I did, I would still be sat here now thinking about it, talking about it, brainstorming of what I could create with this channel, how it could look, how I would want it to sound. But just by taking action and figuring it out as I'm going along and stepping into the identity of someone that creates long form content, only then could it really be formulated and become an existent thing in the physical, because if not, I would still be thinking about it to this day. So here are 3 moves on how to put this into practice. Step 1. Define the version specifically. Not just a vague, better version of me. Actually get specific. How does this version of you make decisions? How do they handle their setbacks? And how do they show up when nobody's watching and there's no reward for it? The more specific the picture, the easier it is to act from it. Step 2. Use questions in real moments. Throughout your day in small decisions, what would that version of me do right now? Not in the big dramatic moments, but in the small, boring, unglamorous ones. Those are the ones that actually build identity, because nobody's watching and there's nothing to perform for. That's where the real evidence gets made. Step 3. Track the evidence, not the feeling. Don't wait to feel different before you count it as progress. Notice what you did. Notice the decisions that you made, the actions that you took, even if it felt awkward and even if it didn't feel like you yet. That discomfort is the evidence working. Write it down if you have to and build a record, because one day, not suddenly, but gradually, you will look back at that record and realize that the belief caught up. You didn't notice it happening, it just did. So listen to me when you're waiting to feel like the new version of yourself. The feeling, it isn't the starting point, and it never was. You don't wait until you feel like that person until you start acting like them. You act like them in the small moments and in the decisions that nobody sees. These feelings are built from the evidence that you create. And this isn't pretending. It's not performance, it's proof. Built one decision at a time. So the gap between how you're acting and how you're feeling, it isn't a problem. It's the process. And that is what change feels like whilst it is happening. So stop waiting for permission from your feelings. Start producing the evidence instead. And in the next video, we're going to talk about what happens when you do exactly this. And what you do in moments is what actually decides if it actually sticks. So drop a comment below. What is one small decision today where you could act as a version of you that you are becoming before you feel ready for it? Remember, name it, then go and do it. So subscribe to the channel and the next one will find you when you need it. My name's Harley. Do the work, trust the process, and I'll see you in the next one.